So in our last video, we showed you the basic mechanics of using the ODATA API in ALM to report into Excel. So we're going to build on that and show you a couple of quick tricks to perhaps improve the kinds of queries that you can do and also reduce the amount of traffic that's being returned from the server. So first we're going to do is we're going to establish the same query for our defects from our OData feed. Now, if you've already done the first report, then it has probably remembered your credentials. And so we'll just put in our URL and we'll wait for it to connect to ALM. So just like last time, we'll focus on the defects and we're going to transform the data. So we're not going to load it into the spreadsheet just yet. We're going to apply some query to it before we load it. Okay, so we have our raw data, and what we want to do is we want to narrow down just the columns we want, and also let's apply some grouping and some summarization in the query so that we don't have to do it in our spreadsheet. So to do that, we're going to use the same technique that we did last time. We're going to choose our columns first. We're going to deselect everything and only choose the columns that we really need for our query, or the ones that make sense. So for reporting, most of the time you want things like priority, severity, status, assigned to, and so forth. Now this time, what we're going to be doing is also bringing in those records. Okay, the detected by user, the assigned to user, and others. So step one is to narrow down our columns. Step two is now let's deal with these records. Now this is actually quite simple. This lets us filter and choose the properties of that table that we want to bring in. So this is basically the properties of the release cycle table. And so we just want to bring in the name of the release cycle as well as the release. So you can see how it brought in the cycle name. Here it's going to bring in the release name. Of course, we can bring in everything else. That's other properties, I should say, and that's fine. But in this case, we're just going to bring in these attributes. So it's really actually pretty simple to do it. And what's really nice about it is that it builds the query for you, so you can modify it as you wish or leave it as you have it right now. So now one thing we may want to do is group the results in some manner here. So we can do that also in the Power Query editor. Simply use the group by and choose the column that you want to group by. So if you want to group by priority, let's do that. Let's see how that works. You can see that it's automatically groups the results by priority. Of course, there's 14 here without a priority and so on. So that's one thing we can do, and then we can just close and load it. What I'm going to do instead here is I'm going to change the grouping. Let's do something maybe a little bit different. Let's go to the Advanced tab. Let's add two groupings. So I want to group by release name, and I want to group by cycle as well. And we'll do the grouping by the count of rows in each. So we'll just do that, and as you see here, we have grouping by release and cycle. Now, obviously, there's a lot of defects here that have not been labeled with detected release and cycle, so that's why they're also here. So this lets me simply apply the query, and that way I don't really even have to do anything in Excel, except maybe apply some visualizations to it. So if I want to, I can insert a chart or a pivot chart. So let's just insert chart here, this, and away you go, right? So now you have the grouping. It's automatic here, and then you can apply the properties to adjust colors and styles and whatnot. So a very quick example just to show you how you can take that key connection to the ALM repository or project. using the ODATA API and do some of the work in the query as opposed to doing it in the spreadsheet. So thanks for watching. Our next videos will explore a little bit of the Power BI, because that's where we get into visualization and some of the data model aspects of using the power of the OData API to produce visualizations and dashboards that are truly useful.